is really what makes us the money. And
Hey, 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 hey,
and
hey.
we're
Today we'll
pretty
be going
picky.
live and
And
talking
so we had this
about
person who
the
we said
Celebrity
no to,
CEO Blueprint, how to build your personal brand live. I'll be going live in about, I'm already live. I'll be starting this in about 4 minutes, give or
feedback,
take.
and she's like,
But thanks
well,
for joining me,
hey,
whether you're
I'm
joining me
gonna explain
live
on
here
your
right
chart
now or you're joining me in
and
the
show you
replay.
the
We're going to
profile
talk about
that a
building
coach
your personal brand,
posted
the
about
Celebrity
how
CEO
he takes
Blueprint in
$250,000 and she'll
just
teach
a
you how to do it. And I'm
few
like, dude,
minutes.
we make
So you're hearing
$250,000 literally
Alexa
in 48
and
hours.
her
Like
crew right
we,
now
she
live. You're
just for the
hearing
first time hit
Alexa
250,000,
and
which is
Tonya
great.
and
Congrats, that's
Debbie
amazing.
talking about
But
building
there's no
billion
comparison.
dollar brands right
And
now.
we
We'll
had
be going
already said
live
no to her, but
shortly,
if you remember
talking
who I'm
about
talking
how
about,
you
Debbie,
can be the
like
celebrity CEO of
it's
your
just
business.
it's fun how many
The
coaches are out there
Celebrity
that
CEO
literally have
Personal
zero
Branding
experience.
Blueprint.
Yeah,
We're
and
going to
that's
go
that's what I love
that in just a
about the
few
organization. And
minutes.
we're
So in the
running out of
meantime,
time, but like
let's listen to
one
what's
of
happening
the
on
best things
Clubhouse.
I
Listen
think
in.
we have going, and this is what we lead with in some of our marketing is, we're
Alexa,
entrepreneurs
Tonya, and
first.
Debbie talking
We're
about
in
building a
business.
billion-dollar
That's our
brand.
first love and our first focus,
I'll be going
and
live in
how our minds
3
are oriented.
minutes.
And we're
Give or
marketers and
take.
coaches on the backs
Thanks for
of
joining
the
me.
success we've had as entrepreneurs. So we get it. We understand the realities of owning a business, being an entrepreneur, especially being a solopreneur. We've all done it. We've all had to make a payroll. I tell you, that's the biggest test of entrepreneurship. When you got to make a payroll,
I'll be giving
that's
today
a different level.
building
And if you
your
haven't had to make
personal
a payroll,
brand
that's okay
with the
too. But
Celebrity
like,
CEO
just know that like
Personal Brand
we've done it
Blueprint.
multiple times with multiple businesses. We've had teams and staffs and companies, and
I'm
we've built
excited.
businesses, we've sold businesses, and
First time building
that
this.
took a lot of no's. And we got a lot of
Hey,
no's,
Jordan, good
right? Like you got to
morning.
learn how to take a no.
Love seeing your Facebook
But
post, man.
I think it's great that we did no, because
We're
there's
going
so many
live
great people to talk about how yes can
shortly.
transform your life, because it really can. But what we're describing is the flip side of that. Yes, these are the things that you just have to avoid, because they'll eat up your time and energy and your mood.
Yeah, one as we wrap up, one of the no's that we've gotten good at is saying no to employees that just
Again,
and
welcome. We'll be
partners
starting
that
soon.
they're just not the right fit.
About
And
2
Debbie will tell you, like, I
minutes
have such a
as
soft
I
heart.
dive through
I'll
the
keep
Celebrity
people on for
CEO
months, paying them very high
Blueprint for
salaries
building your
because I
personal
feel bad.
brand.
And at the end of the day, that's not fair to me. It's not healthy for me or
We'll
them
be starting soon.
or anybody on the team, right? So that's just something that, guys, we are
1 more minute.
we're
Here we go.
entrepreneurs. We're very
Just hearing now from
successful.
Alexa,
We run big
Tonya,
businesses,
and
but we're
Debbie.
learning too. And that's why we come every week and we teach you guys, because, it's important for
I'm
you guys to
excited.
hear the
A little
mistakes
bit
that we're
nervous
making
too.
and the things
First
that we're
time delivering
changing.
this
So
presentation. We'll start
that's
in
what
another
we
minute.
got for you. So
Here
just
we
say
go. Get
no.
ready.
All right,
We
everyone.
had a great session of just saying no.
Ramon, am I passing to you?
Hey, Alexa and Tonya and Debbie, you are. I want to tell you all. I don't know whether I'm listening. Can you hear me okay?
I sure
Okay,
can.
great. I don't know whether I'm listening to entertainment, whether I'm listening to information, whether I want to laugh, whether I want to scribble notes. I don't know if I want to go, oh no, I need to do this, or if it's like, you know what, let me get a cup of coffee and chill, or just take a walk. So that's Ramon's way of saying kudos. That's Ramon's version of upliftment. So Alexa, Tonya, and Debbie, y'all doing good.
All you have to do is just say no.
Yeah.
And do
like
all those things. Take
Yes.
a walk, laugh, scribble, do them all.
I love it. No, but y'all are good. Y'all have a good vibe and good chemistry, and learning that the information you share is good. And I hope everybody signs up to your programs and follows Alexa, follows Tonya, and Tanya, and follows Debbie. It's funny, Debbie, Tonya, and Alexa. Sometimes you hear people for weeks and you realize, oh, I'm not following them. So Debbie, I wasn't following you. Tonya, I wasn't following you. So I just clicked that link and followed you. So.
You were following me, though.
Yes, I was following you, Alexa. I was. I wouldn't make that mistake.
Okay, he said yes to you, but he had inadvertently said no to us, but it was by omission, so it doesn't count.
Oh,
and now it's a yes.
See what I'm saying?
See?
We solved that.
I love that, Ramon.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you, Tonya, Tanya, and thank you, Debbie. What great segment. Please click on these 3 amazing ladies' faces. Follow them, learn them, get into their programs as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Ramon Ray, live on a variety of platforms. Glad you're here in the Breakfast with Champions community. My name is Ramon Ray, and today we're going to talk about the Celebrity CEO Blueprint, your guide to building or starting your personal brand. Greetings to those watching me on LinkedIn. My longtime friend, Mr. PL Da Silva. Good to see you there. Jordan Thomas is there. We're live streaming on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all kind of different places as I continue to up-level what I'm doing. And this is the first time, Clubhouse community, that I'm giving this presentation like this. This is fresh all new material, meaning these slides were just done and baked about 5 minutes ago. So I'm very nervous. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, I'd love you to do one favor as well, one thing. If you could reach out to me and let me know if what I'm going to talk about today is useful for you, if what I'm talking about today, you like the flow and cadence, if you like the slides, if you like what it is, especially those of you who are watching this live on live stream. And I want to say these concepts we talk about every week in the BWC Prime community. Thank you, Jordan. We talk about this every single week on Mondays. We have our online community. Several of you have signed up for it in our learning where we're mapping out your business. Hey, Stanley Thomas, good to see you here. We do masterminds. We talked about marketing automation last week and more. Joseph is here on LinkedIn and Lon as well. And again, good to see the Clubhouse audience. Natasha, it was so good to meet you and your husband last week, Natasha. What amazing. Arpit, good to see you here in crypto, and Chima and Tarika and Robert, and so many here. Justin and Crystal's here from the Mom Link. Love me some Mom Link, 1000%. Glenn Rudin's here. I hope you get back on that stage, brother, when you can. Levy's here. Vinny, and so many others are here on the Clubhouse side. So we're going to jump right into it today. We're going to be here I have an hour here today, and I'm here filling in for, I think it's Lisa Copeland. Want to up-level her and acknowledge her amazing shares. Trevor is here in the house. It's a party on LinkedIn. Danette is here in the house. Rhonda Williams, you'll have to check out her podcast on all she's doing. So let's dive into it here. The Celebrity CEO Framework, Blueprint, how to build your personal brand. Brand new, never given this before. We do things like this at BWC Prime. Those of you in Clubhouse can check out that link, bwcprime.com, and join us. That price right now is $49 a month. It's about the cheapest coaching you're going to get in your life. We'll go up to $99 a month shortly. And join us in Dallas as well. I got some things on that coming, some exciting changes. But some of you may have heard the billion-dollar campaign, how to bring avocados from Mexico to the U.S. market. The team, the lady, Irene, who's heading that, is coming to our Champions Dallas Business Conference, April 13th and 14th, hosted by me and Trevor Houston, bwcdaily.com, bwcdaily.com/Dallas 23. So good to be here. Let's dive in as we talk about today the Celebrity CEO, building your Celebrity CEO blueprint to start and grow your personal brand. I'd love to know what you think as we go through this today. Let's begin, and feel free to share this out. And again, I would love your input after this. Feel free to email me, Ramon@RamonRay.com. I'd love to know how it went, the cadence, the slides, the pictures, the knowledge, the information, all of it, to know what I can improve on, because this is fresh, brand new. I'm just doing it right now. So many of us have asked, many of us want to know, many of us want to do. Thanks for your encouragement, Trevor. How can we be more known? How can we not be forgotten? How can we be memorable? Trevor Houston's like implanted to my mind because he does some of the most amazing podcasts and shows. Got to meet Jordan Thomas at Social Media Marketing World in Dallas. Love Crystal. Her Mom Link is like on fire. Met Natasha, got to know her better on the Clubhouse side. I can go on and on and on. So many I've met and come across over the years. We ask that. How can we be more known? How can we be never forgotten? How can we be memorable? It's an important question that many people fairly ask. And I believe I have the solution for that as I share my journey of some blessings and some things I've done in life. And I have a lot more room to grow as we share that today. And then in about 30 minutes on the Clubhouse side, we'll definitely open up for discussion and talk and thought on that as well. But I do want to share one thing. I worked at the United Nations for many years, as some of you may know, but as a reminder, worked at this global organization that does its best, excuse me, to feed the world and eradicate hunger, and tries to do some things on the security side and more. A global organization, one of the largest nonprofits in the world, doing its best to make the world a better place. I worked there for over 10 years. How many here on the Clubhouse side been in the United Nations building at all? Just type UN if you have been. Just curious who's been in that building. But I worked there for many years. A few of you have. Good. That's where I met my good friend PL as well. So I worked there for several years until one day something happened. I was, no joke, I was fired from the United Nations. Now, I was fired from the United Nations, of course, because of my, not of course, but because of my entrepreneurial desires and ventures. The bottom line at the United Nations are strict rules against having a side business. And I had permission to have one. So if you have permission, it's okay. But I had permission to have one until that permission was revoked. And then there was a lot of jealousy and issues and anger and frustrations with one particular person. And I was eventually fired. He made my life very difficult there. But that's water under a bridge. But that's the story. So I was fired. Some of you may be in this position. Things were going well. You had a full-time job and you were fired, or COVID happened, or something happened in your life. So that happened to me. I was fired. So what to do? Because not only was I fired from the United Nations, but I had a family to take care of. Now, here's my family today, right? I have 2 adult kids, been married about 28 years. But when I was fired, these are 2 small kids and a wife. Single family household. So what am I going to do? How am I going to feed them? How am I going to make a living? Some of you may have been in this position. Anybody been in a position where life just happened? I can see your comments on the LinkedIn side, so feel free to let me know about that. Feel free in the Clubhouse side, curious, put in that chat. Who's gone through that kind of dramatic change in life where you were like, what do I do? Joseph says, I thought it was because you had too much energy. Well, thank you, Joseph, for those kind words, but I love what I do. Love what I do and love sharing that knowledge. So I had a family to take care of. What was I going to do? How was I going to get out of the situation? How would I earn a living for my family? I was working in corporate, as it were, America, nonprofit America, for years. And I had some side hustles. I had some experience, but I didn't do full-time entrepreneurship. Hadn't done it before. It was relatively new to me. But I must say, I did have some experience, and some of you may understand what I mean. It's not the first time you've done it. Some things you do prepare you for the storm. So that is what happened to me. And Stenny's like, the big amen. Stenny's been there. So I did 2 things, and these are 2 things I want to talk about today. That's all I'm going to talk about today. These 2 things. We have about an hour together, and I'll leave time for questions, comments, discussion. And again, you feel free to follow me live as well online. Feel free to listen on Clubhouse as well. And these are the things we talk about in the BWC Prime community, bwcprime.com. You can see that link there that the amazing Christina Howard is kind enough to put there on the Clubhouse side. So I did 2 simple things, just 2 simple things. And I'm going to talk about those things today. 1, I built a following and converted to sales. Glenn talked about this aspect a few days ago, the power of attention. And this is what I did. I didn't know it was called that then. I didn't have that systematic process then, but this is what I did. I built a following and I converted them to sales. That's it. Number 2, I asked for a smile before I asked for a sale. This is the bedrock of what I did. Sometimes we go for the sales, I would dare say, too fast. We just want the sales, but we don't focus on building a following, building a fan base, building a community. And we don't just focus on just being nice. If you look at my Facebook feed at all, or many of my social feeds, I share my journeys of travels. My travel will be going up drastically starting in February, going to all across America. Be going to St. Martin's and other places probably around the world in the coming weeks. Spreading this aspect of asking for a smile before you ask for a sale. That's what I did. And the rubric it's centered on, the pillars that we're going to talk about today, this personal branding blueprint, the Celebrity CEO framework, is 2 things. Tarika says, great morning, Ramon. Following. That's right. That's right, Tarika. You're exactly right. Great morning. Following converted to a sale. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, Tarika. You are so true. So it boils down to converting this from a following to asking for a smile is simply 2 things. It's just attention. It's attention and trust. That's it. It's what can you do to get, hey, what can you do to get attention? And what can you do to build trust? That's it. Thank you, Jordan. So I worked on that, building attention, building trust, building attention, building trust, building attention, building trust. And I'm going to share with you how I did it, what I did, and you can do it too. Anybody can follow this roadmap. And when I did this attention and this trust, it leads to one thing. It leads to being paid. Because if you're giving attention to the people that need your help, you're building trust with the people that need your help, they're going to pay you to solve the problems. It's as simple as that. I've seen it work every single time. I see people talking about it in the chat. Tanisha says, that's good. Thank you. Coach Zelda's giving a thumbs up. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Love it. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. Looking here at the Clubhouse chat, LinkedIn chat's on fire. All right, good. So it led to money. That's the bottom line. And this is what I want to talk about today. We focus so much on the sale, but first, if we focus on getting attention, then if we focus on building trust, the sales will come because I do it all the time. Attention to trust to sales. And that's what I want to talk about today, focus on today, and dive into some key points of how you can do that too. Again, it's attention, trust, sales. Attention, trust, sales. Close your eyes and say that to yourself. Attention, trust, sales. Attention, trust, sales. ATS, ATS. Attention, trust, sales. That's all it is. Put that in the chat if you're with me. ATS in any chat platform you're at. ATS, attention, trust, sales. Put that in the chat. It'll take some time to spell, but it'll internalize into your mind. Because if you don't get attention, game's over. If you're not building trust, game's over. You don't have the right to get a sale if you haven't built attention, if you haven't built trust. This is what I do. Working with some of the best brands in the world on attention and trust, and then they buy from me. This is what I do. How do I build my speaking business? People ask me, how do you get on stages? Same concept. Thank you, Danette puts attention, trust, sales. Tarika puts attention, trust, sales. Love it, love it, love it. So this is what we're going to talk about today as we move forward in this discussion. All right, here we go. Here's what I do. So I already talked a bit about who's Ramon Ray. I won't belabor that point. Many of you already know my story, especially those who are in Clubhouse, those who are following me on LinkedIn. I see the Clubhouse chats up. Ada and the strategy lady and Annette. All right. We got the ATS. All right. People listening. So started 5 small businesses, sold 3 of them. Smallbiztechnology.com, started that and sold it. Started smarthustle.com, started that and sold it. Started the Small Business Summit, started that and sold it. I speak around the world, in-demand motivational speaker, event host, graduate of the FBI Citizens Academy. That plaque, there's a plaque behind me. You can't see it from here. There's that. I write for Black Enterprise, write for Entrepreneur, do a lot of things with them. Publisher of. Happy to lead with an amazing team. This organization you're listening to, Breakfast with Champions at bwcdaily.com, bwcdaily.com, zoneofgenius.com, and other things that I'm working on myself. That's a bit about me. Honored to have testified to Congress. That was a fun day, testifying to Congress about small business issues. Honored to speak on stages around the world and do some really, really cool, amazing things. And my journey's not over yet. I got a lot more fuel in the tank. A lot more fuel in the tank. Thank you, Christina, putting those links up there. Appreciate you. So let's move forward. I often hear this with people. Those of you watching the live stream can see Bill Hauser, favorite person, one of the favorite people of BWC out of 70 hosts we have. Ramon, you're everywhere. They tell me that. They see me all the time online. I'm not everywhere. I'm not everywhere. I'm just doing the celebrity CEO concept, the celebrity CEO principle, but I'm not everywhere. Trust me on that. Thank you, Tarika's excited. No slurping today, though. It seems like I'm everywhere, and maybe I am to some of you. But actually, I'm not. I only got 30,000 Twitter followers. Some people have millions. I only got, 7,000 Instagram followers. Some people have millions. But to some people, I'm everywhere. To the right fit audience, I'm everywhere. And it's this principle of 360-degree marketing, this celebrity CEO concept. Some of you resist the celebrity naming, resist the celebrity CEO nomenclature. But let me tell you something. If you're not willing to be the celebrity CEO of your business and you're not doing a ton of paid ads, you don't have a sales team, you're a coach, consultant, speaker, author like me, you're a small person, make no doubt your brand is hanging on who you are as a person. Facts. Those of you who are in the Clubhouse community, you know Kim Walsh-Phillips. Facts. Bill Hauser. Facts. Now, he's building a slightly bigger mechanism, so he's going a slightly different way. But even Glenn Lundy, right now, it hangs on him, Glenn Lundy. He builds an 800% brand. This is for sure. I want you to dial this down and understand this. This approach to 360-degree marketing, being the celebrity CEO of your industry. All right. Thank you. Ramona Rogers says, love that strategy, Ramon. Love it. Annette's feeling that too. Ooh, entrepreneurship. Annette, you got some skills, girl. I love it. So this is the 360-degree marketing approach of the celebrity CEOs. Honored to say as we step into these steps, Seth Godin, the ultimate marketer, the father of Parisian marketing, did a little thing for my book. Practical, hands-on, generous advice for anyone who's hesitated to bring their voice to the world. And by the way, you can get all this material for free. Just Google Celebrity CEO, whatever you want. Go to celebrityceo.com. You can download material and all kind of things there. So it's not the book, it's the principles in the book that are most important. Not selling the book at all. So let's dive in. Everyone wants more sales. We all want more sales in one shape or another. And I get it. Sales are important. Without sales, there is no business. But let me be very clear to you. Without attention and trust, you don't get sales. So let's dive into this framework today as we go over the Celebrity CEO Personal Branding Blueprint. And Celebrity CEO is trademarked, I'm proud to say. So one question I'm often asked, that's a question I'm asked first and foremost, is Ramon, corporate brand versus personal brand. Corporate brand versus personal brand. What are the difference? What are they? So let me just demystify that and touch on that real quick. The corporate brand is like a Starbucks, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. You don't really know who's behind it. You don't care who's behind it. You go in there, make a transaction, and buy it. That's the bottom line with the corporate brand. You really don't care about the human behind it. Personal brand, a lot different. Personal brand is about me and you. Personal brand is about Stenny, about Jordan, is about Danette, is about Tarika. That's what the personal brand is about. It's about Arpit, Natasha, Rebecca. It's about that. That's what the personal brand is about. It's about Glenn Rudin, the message master, Anthony, Chima, Tarika. It's about Michelle. It's about Rhonda. What's up, Rhonda? Good to have you here. This is what it's about, the corporate brand versus the personal brand. It's about us as individuals, who we are. This is why it's so important and so uniquely special, the corporate brand versus the personal brand. People often ask me, the other question people ask, as I talk about this aspect of personal branding, what about my personal social media, my personal life versus my corporate life? Let me tell you one thing very, very clear here. Let me tell one thing clear here. And other people may have their own opinion, but for us smaller businesses, there's only one brand. That's the brand you. I don't have some private little channel where me and Glenn Rudin on Clubhouse are chatting and saying some bad things, and I got some private thing where I'm looking all busted somewhere. No, it's one Ramon, all places, all the time. I cannot afford to just have, this is my private brand for my doggies, and this is my public brand for my business. Do I have a smaller WhatsApp group for some personal stuff? Sure, WhatsApp groups, I get it. But there's no personal brand and private brand, in my opinion. I am too small for that. I'm not trying to build Starbucks here. I'm building serving based on Ramon Ray. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the idea of the personal versus social brand. So I hope that was helpful as you have those questions. So why do we want to do personal branding? Even why should we invest in personal branding? Why should we invest in being the celebrity CEO of our empires? Why should we do this? Because it'll help our business. It'll build legacy. It'll help you do generational wealth. It'll help your family, your spouse, your kids. It'll help you give back money to your communities. This is why we do what we do. Let's face that. It makes you the only choice. So people think, if I want to build my personal brand, who am I going to work with? Maybe they'll call on Ramon. Maybe they'll call on, looking here at the Clubhouse stage, at Glenn Rudin. Maybe they'll call on others who may do this. If they're thinking, if I want to focus on my health, maybe those of you who are in health will be there. I don't have it in my head right now who does health. Maybe those of you who want personal training. You feel what I'm saying? You as the only choice in their mind. I get calls all the time from companies that are doing big events focused on small businesses. Ramon, can you come and speak and crush the stage? Number two, you become sought after. Are you tired of scratching and scrambling every single day to chase clients down? You don't have to chase clients down when your personal brand is dialed in. People come to you. And number three, and there's other things you can do, it shields against price discounting. Tired of having people, I can't afford this, I can't do this, can you come down in price? When you're the hot market, when you're the top personal brand, that doesn't happen. And let's remember, people want to work with winners. People want to work with winners. That's exactly right, Tarika. Best known. People want to work with winners. In the chat, how many of you want to work with losers? Nobody. Thank you, Ramona. How many want to work with winners? Put winners in the chat. If you wish, if you're doing some things with your kids or you're busy, don't worry about it, no problem. But if you want to do that, put that in chat, winners. That's why it's called Breakfast with Champions, not Breakfast with Losers. And again, those of you who don't know what we're talking about here, those of you on my live stream on video, and you're not familiar, go to bwcdaily.com, bwcdaily.com, and join us every day, 5 a.m. live content. 8 hours of live content, 70 plus hosts, Breakfast with Champions on Clubhouse and beyond. We're getting to other platforms as well, just like this. Kenneth is here. What's up, Kenneth? Kenneth says, Ramon, I agree on personal branding. We see our focus on featuring guests, especially military members and veterans. Yeah, you dial down into that for sure, Kenneth, and your business will grow. That's right. So people want to work with winners. They don't want to work with losers. Marcia said winners. Ramona said winners. Love it. So let's move forward here. And let's think about, just to dial this home a little more, Why are celebrity endorsements so powerful? Michael Jordan or Serena Williams or Taylor Swift or the other guy, Beckham, right? Why? They're well known. They have attention. They have some level of trust, and the companies want to do trust transference. So they work with these famous people. They do. I love it, Joseph says, but you do learn more of what not to do if you work with some losers. Another famous person, many of you know George Foreman, right? George Foreman went from being a boxer to a grill pitchman because he had the attention, trust, and was able to convert that to sales. So let's move forward here now that I've convinced you of this a bit. Attention, trust, sales, attention, trust, sales, attention, trust, sales. What we're focusing on today. So first rubric is the aspect of getting attention, attention, attention. How do we get attention for who we are? Now, it's not just any kind of attention. I want to be clear. Stop. It's not just attention. You want to get attention of the right customer. This is important. So not just attention of anyone, but attention of the right customer. And I want you to think, who's your ideal customer? What do they look like? What do they smell like? What do they taste like? Who are their ideal customer? Who's your ideal customer? Do they wear a flannel shirt? Do they wear a polo shirt? I don't know. Do they live in Las Vegas? Do they live in Miami? Are they a farmer? Are they a New York City dweller? Are they quiet and mild-mannered? Are they loud and rambunctious? Who knows? Are they a coach, consultant, speaker? Are they focused on female founders? Are they a dude who likes to do cattle ranching? Who knows? But I want you to understand who is your ideal customer. And I challenge you to know your customer, to ask yourself very clearly, what problem am I solving for them? Ask yourself very clearly, who am I solving it for? And understand the demographics of your customer. That's important to a degree. Yeah, maybe you're focused on, Black males and helping them whatever needs they have. Maybe you're focused on white males and focusing on whatever needs they have. Sure, Spanish people, female founders who are Spanish, take your pick. But don't ignore the psychographics. The psychographics, how they think. You may look at me and let's see who's on stage here. Me, Christina, and Dora. You couldn't get a much more different people. Dora's that methodical, thoughtful, heart of gold and butter and scotch and honey milk, like nobody's business. Super smart too. That's kind of Dora. Christina Howard. Stop. Let's just focus. Let's just move forward. What's the plan? I got the paper and pads ready to go and get this joint in order. Ramon's like, oh, we just love the world and fly by and let's just build a bridge and not take any measurements. Let's just love people. So different. But if you look at our psychographics, our hearts are dialed in in so many ways. So I want you to understand not just the demographics, but the psychographics. Another thing, I get this from Chet Holmes, Amanda Holmes, his daughter does this, is your Dream 100. Dre Baldwin talked about this a few days ago. If you didn't get Dre's other segment, you can go to bwcdaily.com, bwcdaily.com for content from our host. And it may not be your Dream 100, it could be your Dream 10, Dream 20, Dream 50. But I also want you to start to narrow down and think, who are those people within my customer segment that really, really could use my help and assistance? So moving forward, we talked about some attention ways. Now I want to dive into some attention tools real quick. These are just a few tools, and I'm not going to dive into these deeper. I can give whole clinics and seminars on each of these tools, but here's some ways that you can get attention for your business. Social media marketing is powerful. Self-promotion is powerful. Speaking from stage, being a guest on other people's podcasts. Those in the Clubhouse community heard Mike Searock talk about that. Publicity via media coverage. Take a picture of this slide, by the way. Take a selfie, take a picture of this and share it out, tweet it out, put it on IG, tag me. This is the slide you want to know. These are some attention gathering tools. Are you doing any of these? Are you doing anything as well? Are you doing all of these? What about paid advertising? You can even do paid advertising on Facebook. It works. But what are the things you're doing to get attention? This is important. And by the way, a lot of you are taking notes right now, trying to catch up with me. A lot of these things we'll do our best to have on bwcdaily.com. But listen, you can get a lot of this framework if you just go to celebrityceo.com/blueprint. Take a picture of this with your phone if you want. And you can just go this and download. This is a draft version of some things I'm working on. You're the ones getting this sloppy and dirty. It's right there. But I also try to send you the slides. But if you just download that blueprint, Celebrity SEO Blueprint, you can get that in your inbox or however you want to get it right now. So don't have to worry about scrambling and taking notes. You can just take a picture of that QR code and or go to celebrityceo.com/blueprint and check that out right now as we're doing it. celebrityceo.com/blueprint. Okay, let's move forward. So I know a lot of you are like, oh, no, wait. Well, I can't wait. So we have these 6 things here, right? Social media, self-promotion, speaking for stage, guest on podcast, publicity, paid advertising. And I'll probably do larger workshops and clinics and things on each one of these, how you can grow into these areas in the future. But for now, I want you to inventory what you're doing and think, are you doing these things? The chat is live. I love it. Love it. Good morning. Kareen's in the house. Love it. Annette, thanks for being there. Love it. Glenn, you're right. Be a star in your own universe. Love how you said that, Glenn Rudin. Absolutely, my brother. And a couple more things that are important. Network. You can network online and in person. These are all ways to get attention for your brand, attention for your business. I paid good money to be at this kind of event. It's amazing going to events and networking. Be very intentional about the events that you go to be around the right people. So networking is important. Another thing that's very, very important, and I don't want you to ignore this, is the importance of lead capture. You don't just want to get attention and just have attention for attention's sake. As you're getting attention, you should be capturing contact information, collecting emails, collecting cell phone numbers, collecting and nurturing everywhere you can. So important. So important. So I hope you're doing that as well. And again, I deep dive into all these things. This is all part of the Celebrity CEO Blueprint. Deep dive in these things as well. And a few ways you can capture leads as well. There's a few ways you can do that. Landing pages, SMS, text opt-in, business cards, event registration, social media, many ways you can do lead capture. And you don't have to do all these ways. But I want you to kind of inventory what you're doing in your business and find out where are the leaking places that you're not capturing leads. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Kareen. Love it, love it, love it. Glad you're here. So I want you to take note of that. If you want to take a picture of that too, or you'll get it. If you want the slides, you can just DM me or reach out to me and I'll send you slides too as well. If you just go to that thing I showed earlier, I'll send you these slides too. So these are ways you can capture leads, because if you don't capture leads, you cannot then work on this second aspect of building trust. And that's where it gets exciting, the trust aspect. And the trust aspect, frankly, it builds over time. I often say the thingamajiggy, date your leads, marry your customers. If you Google that, you probably see my name everywhere associated with date your leads, marry your customers. Date your leads, marry your customers. When you think about relationships, oftentimes it starts out with a proverbial quote unquote, a date. You just friends, you just talk to people, like people a little bit. But as the relationship grows, as the trust grows, many of us decide to get married. I've been married for 28 years. Love my wife very much. So this is the aspect of why you want to collect leads, so you can start to nurture and build trust, because trust equals education. Trust equals education. If you're not educating enough, I dare say you're not building enough trust. Bottom line. And of course, you have to be offering that to the right person at the right time. They have to be the right customer for you. That's very important as well. And I'll get into some other things on sales in a bit, but Tarika's right. Builds over time. Diamonds indeed, Tarika. Thank you so much for that. So trust is education. So what are some tools of trust that you can use to build trust with your followers, build trust with your fans, build trust with the people who you've attracted the attention of? What are some tools you can use? 6 tools I'll go through. All of them you know, but I wonder, are you maximizing them? And in future clinics, future classes, future workshops, I'll break down websites and email marketing and social media and more, all these things, because we talk about things, again, as we break down this whole aspect of being the celebrity CEO of your business. And if you want this blueprint, you can just go to celebrityceo.com, and note that in the BWC Prime, our premium coaching, we go through these things and more week to week. We have a discussion board. We have access to me and others in the BWC Prime community. So quickly go over this. We're about 30 minutes in now. Websites and blogging are important. Are you blogging on a regular basis? Do you have a good website? Thank you, Tarika. Thank you for cheering on, Tarika. It's so good to have you here. You're an amazing cheerleader, and that's so important. I feel that energy. Thank you. Websites and blogging. Are you doing that? People may say, you don't need websites. No, you do. You do need a website. And I'm not going to go over a whole masterclass on that right now, but I can go over these points in future segments of that I have the privilege to share with you all. I'll go over these future things. Email marketing, so important. What's the headline? What's the message? What's the copy like? What's the cadence of sending it? I can go on for hours about the importance of email marketing. Social media marketing, so important. Today, I believe, if I'm not, somebody just unmute and say it, but I think I have a whole hour today, so I'll end in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes or so, especially on the Clubhouse side, and we can dive into questions and comments, all right? So social media marketing is important. What are you doing to grow your social media influence. Social media builds trust. Social media is educational. People seeing you over and over and over and over and over and over and over again are going to be more inclined to buy from you. This is what we're trying to work on, what we are working on. Another thing, book publishing and marketing. I published 5 books. My book here, Celebrity CEO, right? It's here. I published 5 books. This is one I did with a hybrid publisher. Just telling you how I did, not some big New York City publisher that paid me thousands to do it. I get paid now, but I paid money to have this done. I did. And now they send me royalty checks because I'm selling it. Or I also did another little booklet I did. This I did, Grow Your Solo Business. I did this self-published, not on Amazon. I sold it directly myself, but I did this totally. I did a PDF, hired a designer, hired some freelancers up Upwork, and there you go. Anybody wants that as well, let me know. In fact, I'll just send it to you as my gift to you. If you just DM me, reach out and put solo somewhere in the headline, DM me and I will send that to you as well. So point is, book publishing and marketing is important. Not just publishing the book, but also marketing the book. Seth Godin talks about that. It's easy to publish a book, but marketing the book is a whole nother ballgame. What about doing a regular show, webinar, podcast? The platform we 70 hosts have. This is our way to have a regular webinar and podcast. Thank you, Danette. It's in that, DM that to me directly. I see that in the comments as well, but DM that to me as well so I can see it afterwards. The power of video. Video is so important as well. And I'm going to touch on that briefly here before we go on and get ready to have our 3rd rubric, and then we'll be at the end. But a show, a webinar, a podcast, something regular, something consistently where you're out there educating day in and day out is important. And then the 3rd aspect is the power of video. Video is so important. I think there's 3 types of video people should have. Feel free to take a picture of this slide if you want. Save it and note it. All of you should have a sizzle video. The video that glamorizes, showcases who you are, what you do. If you go to RamonRay.com, I have a sizzle video. I have probably a few. Ramon, a sizzle video is important. That special video that's kind of professionally done. Second type of video you should have, and this is the video that I do all the time as well, is a personal video. Video that takes a little personality to it. And again, the chat's lit on Clubhouse, chat's lit on social. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Congratulations, Annette. Married for 30 years. Love 33 years. Love it. Personal video. Get a little personal about yourself, what you do, about your family, or not about your family if you want to keep that private. And then education video. I do a lot of educational videos to educate my fan base. And many of you are in my fans. Many of you are my followers. And you can testify to that fact that I do quite a bit of educational video. Take a picture of this if you want, share it out, tag me, put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter, put it on LinkedIn, share this knowledge with others. So that's the type of video you all should have. So as we're on the rubric of, quick cough here, as we're on the rubric of the trust we should have, another way we can build trust is through our events. Event marketing is powerful. Bill Hauser talked about that on the Clubhouse side. Online events, in-person event, take your pick. But doing events, speaking at others' events as well. It doesn't have to be your own events, but you can do public speaking as you're building trust. Getting publicity in the market. Being covered by Fox News, CNN, your local town, NPR, Cheddar. Take your pick, BuzzFeed, Business Insider. If you have something you want to share on zoneofgenius.com, email me, let me know. So get publicity, have third parties validate who you are, builds credibility for what you're doing. Another thing I want to note here is the power of good imagery. This is important. One technique I do, you see Gary Vaynerchuk, big dog in the world of social media things he's doing. When that happens, it doesn't have to be famous people, but I take my imagery and I associate it with their imagery. This is more so in the realm of self-promotion, but I just want you to note that other little tactic that you can do to build trust. Build trust by association. But you have to have good imagery. The power of self-promotion. Look at that. Had somebody take a selfie of me. It's just a cool image. Shows me out there about in the market, serving people, doing things with iHeartRadio. You feel me? So this aspect of self-promotion is a powerful way to build trust in your community. Make one more little cough here. All right, moving forward. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope this is good. Our last thought I want to share with you is the power of sales. Power of sales. This is important, and this is the nutshell of it all. But you've worked so hard on attraction. You've worked so hard on trust. Now you've earned the right to generate sales. You've earned the right to do it. We talked about attention. We talked about trust. Now we're diving into sales. Thank you. Danette says priceless info. I appreciate that. Sometimes you're speaking here alone. You wonder, anybody hear me? Anybody care? Is it helping anybody? I know it is, but that's just how it is sometimes when you're a speaker. And I know you all kind of know what I feel, right? So attention, trust, and sales. I want you to understand one thing, and I want you to say it to me. In fact, it's so important on the Clubhouse side. I want you to repeat this. Unmute if you're available. You don't have to, but if you can, unmute. And I invite you to join me in saying this. Sales is service. On the Clubhouse side, feel free to unmute and say it. Put it in the chat if you're on other platforms. Sales
Sales
is
is service.
I love it. Yes. And I got this from my friend Shay Brown. Look up Shay's Brown's name, C-H-E, Shay Brown, C-H-E Brown, amazing human, a sales master. And he said this and taught me this. I knew this, but I didn't understand fully about it. Let's say that as I go down on the list here, I'm going to randomly, as it were, but you know what? I'll pick out Ramona, a fan of Marvin. So Ramona is... view profile, I should know. New podcast, digital program, the Empowerment Activation System. New launch 2-day program. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, can't read that fast, but business consultant code. That's Ramona, the amazing Ramona. Hey, Ramona. So let's say Ramona has a problem. Let's say, for example, Ramona needs help publishing her first book. Ramona, can you help me with that? By me not helping Ramona publish her first book, do you know what that means? Ah, come on. What's up, Kamal? Good to see you there, brother. By me not helping Ramona publish her first book, what does that mean? That means I'm depriving her from me helping her do it, because if I'm the best at it, if I can provide value to her in doing it, I'm depriving her of doing it. And that's a crying out shame. It got me reframe thinking. Me as an event host, as a motivational speaker, the people that are not having Ramona on their stage, they're doing a disservice. They're hurting themselves, because I'm one of the best motivational speakers, one of the best event hosts for small businesses at large corporate events in the world. End of story. You need to dial this in and get it in your mind. If you're the best at what you do, why are you depriving people from using your services? Sales is service. And again, we talk about these things in BWC Prime. We talk about these things on other platforms. Chris Starkey's in the house. Now I'm blushing, man. Chris Starkey's here. Up, sir. Let's go, Ramon. And my other brother from another mother, Kamal's in the house. Thank you, Kamal. What's up? All right. So that's that third leg. Sales is service. There's a few aspects of sales that are important. Again, I can talk about sales all day long. But one, it's the beautiful power of follow-up. The beautiful power of follow-up, because you do want my help. You do need me. You've already expressed you have a problem. I got to follow up. If I don't follow up, guess whose fault that is? Not your fault. It's not your mama's fault. It's my fault if you're not following up. Thank you, Stanley Thomas. Dropping bombs. I appreciate that. My phone's blowing up. I hope it's not an urgency thing. Second thing you got to learn is the aspect of making the offer. Don't forget to sell. You've heard me invite you, especially our Clubhouse Breakfast with Champions community. Take a look at BWC Prime if you want to join us there for the Breakfast with Champions Clubhouse community, especially where we have coaching on a regular basis in there. Check that out. And I'll share with you some other things you can do in a bit here. Also, I encourage all of you to take sales training. Most of us can't sell well, because sales is an art and a science. I encourage all of you to take some measure of sales training. Again, all these things I can get into depth in over time. This is just a high-level framework of the Celebrity CEO Personal Branding Blueprint to help you understand what we're talking about today, since I had a bit more time. And the last rubric I want to leave you with is the power of marketing automation. This is an important part where I get a bit techie, because I believe that if you're trying to do a lot of this manual, you can do it, but it doesn't work as effectively as you can if it's marketing automation. You're going to forget. You're going to run out of time. So as you build your email list, you can put things on autopilot. We talked about marketing automation in BWC Prime. If you didn't get that, hit me up so I can share with you how to get that. And as I said, follow-up is absolutely, absolutely essential. So as we wrap this up, I hope this was helpful for you. This is the fast digest version when I do this live on stage. It's very engaging, and I go through the audience of people. But here I'm streaming on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, talking to you all on Clubhouse. We'll open up the floor in a minute here for your questions and comments. I love it here. I see the Clubhouse communities hitting up. Sales as Service. Thank you, Marcia. Sales as Service. Thank you, the Strategy Ladies. Thank you, Christina Howard. Michelle is in here as well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And good to see you, Chris, and Kamal, and so many others on the LinkedIn side and others. We just talked about this, people. It's attention. It's trust. It's sales. Take a picture of that if you want. Put that on your wall. Take your phone out. Double click that button. Just go boop, 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 boop. Take a picture of that. Tag me if you want. This is what we're talking about, people. Building attention, building trust, so you earn the right to generate sales. This is what we're talking about. And this is all in the Celebrity CEO framework, the Celebrity CEO framework to build your personal brand. If you want to download again, this is the rough version of this. This is the rough version. The first time I've given this presentation like this in a while. I've talked about Celebrity CEO for a while. But as I said, I'd like you all to know who are listening to me. Could you do me the favor? Email me, DM me, hit me up, Ramon@RamonRay.com. Was this helpful for you? What could I have done better? But download that framework today, CelebrityCEO.com/blueprint. Or if you want to take a picture with your phone, you can get the QR code for sure there. So again, everybody, this is Ramon Ray, and I think that concludes what I had to share today. What I'm going to do, I'm not sure, I think I'm going to end the live stream because there'll be a lot of the Clubhouse audio going in there. But those of you who join me live, I really appreciate it. If I can serve you in some way, just hit me up. If you go to CelebrityCEO.com/blueprint, get that free download blueprint. Again, it's the draft version, even the branding on it's wrong, but I said, let me just go and get it out there. Or you can just email me, Ramon@RamonRay.com, Ramon@RamonRay.com. If I can help you with the concepts you heard today, you're struggling with your podcast, your sales, and your marketing, and your branding and personal branding, all these things, webinars are not all this, hit me up and let me know how I can help you. So listen, I'm going to end the live broadcast video stream. Thank you so much, Tarika. I appreciate that. Yes, we're doing our best. And Danette says here, now you're speaking my love language. Automation, Danette. That's for sure. Danette, let me know, hit me up who you are so I can refer people to you. But with that, we're going to end the broadcast and we're going to go live now on Clubhouse. And again, you can hit me up. Find all this at CelebrityCEO.com.